Hey, Money Vikings, I got a quick, interesting one that I wanted to talk about today, and it's basically the effect of the downturn in the art market on your true wealth building journey. So it sounds very hoity-toity, and I understand that to talk about the art market. You get images of people going to Sotheby's and raising a little paddle, or sending someone to go there and raise their hand, for the Picasso or the Renoir or whatever the work of art might be. But the art market is actually quite broader than that, and I actually put collectibles in that same sort of category. And that's why, in this channel I like to talk a little bit about pop art collectibles such as comic books, and collectible trading cards, which are pretty popular, very popular, in fact, and a lot of people invest in them in a lot of ways. But as you know, I have some very specific rules of thumb that I use in terms of art and collectibles. So one thing people don't realize about the wealthy is that, yeah, wealthy people, a lot of times they're looking for value, right? And they prefer to invest in things or put their money into things or buy things that actually go up in value over time. And one of those things are art and collectibles and antiques. But the market it can be volatile. So it's down about, broadly speaking, about 27% this year, the entire art market. And comics and collectible trading cards are having their own kind of, odd things going on, with things like Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, like reprinting too much, and just, it's, again, they're just saturating the market with too much stuff, and people are a little bit like busy and they're like, yeah, forget it. It's just a game, which makes a lot of sense. And so I always take a very cautious approach with collectibles. My number one thing with art or a collectible is it's really not a pure monetary investment. It's not like a mutual fund or an index fund or a bond or real estate. It's something that has to speak to you as a person on your true wealth journey. So if the work of art, number one, or the comic cover or the story, whatever, resonates with you and you get personal value out of it, then I think it's worth considering, because it has to be something that you just enjoy. For me personally, my comics, I like displaying them a little bit because I love the mythology, I like the stories, I like the cover art. I appreciate the art, I appreciate the design, I appreciate the pop culture sort of significance of different storylines and all that. So I really enjoy that stuff, and I think it's good fun. And then secondly, so I look then for key collectibles. So things that will probably stand the test of time, and that would be with art or with comics or cards, whatever they might be. So those are just a couple things to keep in mind when collecting. And it's just very important, especially now as you see the art market go down quite a bit. So it's got to be something that you really like. And a lot of it too, you have to look at a couple other things. You have to look at the nostalgia cycle. So, the kids, I talk about this, the little kids at Star Wars Galaxy Edge right now that are 5 years old and they're making lightsabers, they're going to have a nostalgia effect in 25 years, right? In 25 years, they're going to be adults and they're going to be working and have a job. And they're going to be like, oh man, remember when life was so much simpler in 2024 and it was just my lightsaber and I was a Jedi, and I'm joking a little bit, but it's actually true. It happens that way. So these things will lull for a little bit, and then 25 years later, those kids are going to be grown up and they're going to want to capture a little bit of their childhood, believe it or not. The other thing to keep in mind is strong intellectual property. So that's things like, Spider-Man and Batman and Superman. Those are extremely strong IPs, intellectual property. Those characters are very powerful in our culture, and so that can create a collectible aspect. Now, cautiously, there can also be a lot of junk out there. So remember, art is like anything. It's a supply and demand issue. A lot of times why a, particular, Renoir or Degas or Picasso is worth a lot of money is because those people made that with their hands and they only made one of them. Like there's only one painting. Well, Picasso made a lot of art. He was actually like an art machine, but they're still valuable. So anyway, bottom line being, it's still a supply and demand issue, and so you got to look at that with pop art. How many copies were made. That's how it goes with comics. There's certain comics that are notoriously overprinted. Spawn #1, Spider-Man #1 in the 90s. 90s was a big. They just printed too much of things. Although 90s comics are actually pretty hot right now. So anyway, just a little word of caution and some concept to consider when thinking about investing, quote unquote, in art. And all that stuff, to me, art is something, and pop culture type stuff that happens like way after everything else. That happens after you're out of debt. That happens after your emergency fund is built. It happens after you are putting a robust amount into your individual retirement account or your 401k every month. You have your housing costs sort of under control. You don't have some huge crazy car payment. Okay, you got all that stuff down. Then it's like, okay, I've got a little extra money. Do I want to buy, first appearance of this character in a comic, or do I want to buy this collection of Garbage Pail Kids because I think they're really cool, and they probably will go up in value over time because again they're not making them anymore. So it's something that will hold value and be more and more scarce over time. So just a few thoughts I wanted to share with you guys on the art market right now. So kind of interesting stuff, and just another aspect of a true wealth journey. So hey, if you appreciate what we're doing here, please like and subscribe, all that great stuff. Appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.